So we finally have our first ever WPL playoff lineup. It went to the last day. We weren't sure if Mumbai would bounce back after those two defeats, but they got the job done against Bangalore, and with Delhi not losing that advantage that they picked up against Mumbai with the win to close out the group stage, it's going to be Mumbai versus UP in the eliminator and Delhi await the winner in the final. So I guess with Shruti and Yash, it's time to think back and see whether this is the Delhi story, turning it around after we thought Mumbai might go through to the final uncontested, and now Delhi have just stolen top spot from them. What a story, man.
Yeah, I think the first point is that, like the IPL has taught us, never try predicting these tournaments. As of Saturday, we couldn't have imagined a scenario where Mumbai don't top it. We kept saying it's all about who faces Mumbai in the final. But Delhi, I mean, you look at it, they did only lose 2 games. One of them was to that Mumbai team, which was unstoppable in that week. And I think where they've really stood out, power play batting, they stand out like no one does. And I ran up the numbers. Delhi have finished with a power play scoring rate of almost 10 per over.
Wow.
Next best, RCB 8.2. Third, Mumbai just over 7. That's the gulf.
And RCB's numbers have been inflated a little by
That
just that one-off performance. Yeah, you can understand that. Yeah, brilliant point. I guess 2 losses is enough to make the difference. Mumbai lost just the 2. But that big loss to Delhi has been significant because I guess, as we say in the IPL too, Shruti, like finishing 1 and 2 is so important. So just going to the final straight, I think it's a big sort of advantage to Delhi.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm actually loving this because like we were saying earlier, we were like, Mumbai Indians are making this tournament boring.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Delhi have come in and they've done this sort of amazing thing. But for me, I think the turnaround started with that Marizan Cup 5-4 match. She has been really outstanding. She has the best economy rate in the tournament where we thought the spinners would be dominating at the back end. But turns out she just can come in and, figure out how the pitches are, playing out. And she bowls to her strengths and she's bowled so accurately and she has an economy of under 6. And she's been excellent. And I think that has sort of sparked a big turnaround. And obviously with the bat as well, she's excellent. So yeah, I think Marizan Cup has been their X factor in the turnaround is what is, I mean,
you mentioned the top order, Cup,
And I'll just add one more because we will talk about the batting, we will Cup rightly. Under the radar, Shikha Pandey. She's finished the league stage with, 10 wickets at an economy of 6.7. I think all other Indian pacers in the entire tournament have barely reached that figure of wickets. This was a tournament where Renuka Singh, India's ace pacer, was eventually dropped by RCB. And they've struggled, they've leaked. Shikha Pandey under the radar.
Yeah, I guess you can't undervalue just having Meg Lanning as captain. Great call. We were thinking, would they go an Indian way? Jemima was their big Indian signing. But you think as the tournament got deeper, in spite of losing the odd game, the fact that Lanning has brought the best out of this team with Cup firing, with Shafali firing more often than we're used to seeing her at the highest level. So a lot going right. And Meg Lanning, who must be bored of finals now, has another one to her name. But just quickly before we look ahead to the eliminator, let's just close out the RCB season. Because we all thought after the auction that this is one of the teams to watch out for, surely. And it's been a forgettable year, yet a year where we've seen what they're capable of when things fire, when things work.
For me, once again, I'm going to say this, but Smriti Mandhana was the biggest disappointment, and she herself agreed that she could have done a lot better. For them, I think that was the biggest letdown 100%. Of sorts for them. But they did have a lot of positives like Shreyanka Patil coming to the fore, and they show that they are capable of chasing down big targets. Like Sophie Devine has one good day, and you can see what she can do.
And when we sit at the end of this tournament and think of the gems it unearthed, I think Shreyanka Patil will be right up there.
I mean, you wouldn't be surprised to get an India call-up soon.
And doing a tough role, comes out to bat right at the end. Was given those overs at the end and bowled so well the other day. But to me, one of the things that will be interesting about RCB going forward, that seasoned international core, how many of them are still at their A game come next year? Sophie Devine, Heather Knight, Elise Perry to an extent. Tanevan Nika didn't even play a game. So that will be a curious thing about RCB, how they shape up going into next year.
I'm also tempted to see what the rules will be like regarding retention and release and what they come up with. Will they add more teams next year? I don't know.